Hello everyone, so I'm going to do February wrap-up. I read 13 books in February, and I will dive into them now. So, chronological order, the first one that I read was 20th Century Boys by Naoki Urasawa, volume 6. It was okay. Like, it's good, but it's difficult when I came off of Monster as my first Naoki Urasawa read, but I still like it. Anyways, Platinum End, volume 1, it's alright. I will try and give it through volume 4 because that's what I have. Haiku, volume 1, it's pretty good, honestly. I think, though, I may just prefer to watch the anime because I haven't watched it, and I think I don't need to read it. Carmilla by Joseph Sheridan Le Fanu. Honestly, you guys, this was maybe a disappointing read just based off the things that I've heard of people saying, like, oh, this is sapphic and all that stuff. It's definitely sapphic, but I thought it was going to be sapphic in a different way. And also, don't come for me for like unrealistic expectations, because I wasn't expecting like craziness. But I did expect more romance. Like, there was romance, but it was more crumbs. And I thought it was gonna be more like, bite me. Than like, oh, I'm sick. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think I gave it a 3.25 out of 5. And then I read The Woman in the Purple Skirt, which is probably my second favorite read of the month. That was a really good read, quite fast paced. The ending didn't stick it for me, but aside from that, I thought it was really, really good, and I would recommend that. That would be probably a recommendation that I would give to a large variety of people. Next, I read Devotion by Patti Smith. I hated it so much, and also after I finished, I nearly immediately found out that she sang the N-word, which with a hard R even. Like, even if it was an A, you're freakish, but she's definitely freakish. It was like Francophile in the first part, weird, like grooming, trigger warning, like grooming pedophilia in the second part, also like SAR in the second part. And like also just like weirdness, like stop saying how small this woman, she's not a woman, she's a kid, how small this kid is. Anyways, yeah, definitely freakish. Even if it did do a lot to like, it didn't, but even if it were to have made more strides to like clearly state that that was a terrible relationship, it's just like, why? Yeah, never reading Patti Smith again. And I already wasn't going to, and then I saw the N-word thing. I was like, yeah, you're done, bitch. Wallflower volume 1. Speaking of just fuckery, I hate like the side of like manga where it's like perverted, aka pedophilia, and also R jokes. I hate it. Never picking that up again. I only picked it up, I've never heard of it before, because I thought the art style looked nice. I'm good on that, trust me. Then I read Asadora volume 1, another Naoki Urasawa work. This is his most recent work. I'm also giving it to volume 4 because that's what I have, but it's not, I'm honestly not perched right now, I have to be honest with you. Then I read Moshi Moshi by Banana Yoshimoto. This, coming off of Kitchen being my favorite read of January, I would say Banana Yoshimoto in long form versus her short stories is definitely different. I do like the sort of tone and comfort that she brings, but I thought it could have used some work. I believe I gave it a 3.5 or 3.25 actually, I think I started at 3.75, then I dropped it to the 3.5, and then I was sitting on that for a while and I was like, no, I'm grading her on a curve and that's not right, it's 3.25. Yeah, then I read Convenience Store Woman. I think that was another one that was just quite underwhelming for me. Wasn't amazingly, like, didn't live up to the hype, I suppose you could say, because lots of people praise it, and obviously for, like, what definitely seems to be autism representation, I thought that was quite interesting, but as a story, especially the second part after the misogynist gets into it, and I know he's meant to be a misogynist, I'm not like stupid, but it was just like sometimes, well, not even sometimes, his character and just that sort of thing was just overutilized. It was sort of like banging me on the head, like I got it. So it was underwhelming for me personally. Okay, next, On Earth We Are Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. I would say all right, and I think it's a thing of like delivery more so than anything. Like sometimes, and I'm someone that does like lyrical, flowery sort of prose, but I felt sometimes it's like sometimes people want to be quite obscure to the point where it feels pretentious. So that was my review. I think I gave it a 3 out of 5. Next, I read I Want to Eat Pancreas. I didn't need to read that. It was a skip, honestly. And finally, my final read of the month, and also my favorite read, Emma by Jane Austen. I'm so excited to go through Jane Austen's catalog, like so fucking excited. And this was a really unique one where honestly I felt happy reading it. Like, I like reading, but it's not exactly often where a story makes me happy. Maybe outside of like manga, like Hunter x Hunter makes me happy, but also not consistently. But like this was like a joy to read, like genuinely a joy to read. I love the humor in it, the sort of satirical commentary on class and stuff like that was nice, and it always kept you like, at every point in the novel I was interested in something, at least something. So I really liked Emma, and I also really want to rewatch Emma 2020, because when I watched it I didn't know the story. Emma, I never read it, so I was sort of like, okay, this is what, like, okay. But now that I know, like, there's times where you know and times where you don't, and this is the time where I know, and now I could, like, get it. And also have, like, critiques as well, like, ooh, they should have kept it more like this, or they should have switched this up. So I'm going to be in my film critic era once again, perhaps. But yeah, that is my wrap up. Not gonna lie, I was slacking on manga this month, but I am fine with it because I read a lot more novels than I ever have within a month. Probably ever. So hopefully over time, this is a trend, but I can also reel in manga at my usual rate as well. It was also just a really shit personal month, so I didn't have much time, especially in the beginning half, that I was devoting to reading. So yeah. But yeah, if you guys have any interesting reads or even shit reads that you read in February, definitely let me know because I'd be super curious to hear it. So yeah, definitely let me know. But thank you so much for watching, and bye.